Let's get in there. Come on, lads. Oh, as you can tell, I am extraordinarily happy. But the show must continue. You guys already know it's your boy Baba J, and I am back with an instant match reaction. I've just finished watching the Inter Milan Arsenal game at the San Siro, where Arsenal won 3-1. 3-1. And if any of you guys watched my match preview, I'm not going to lie, I didn't know what to expect because I had no idea what kind of a squad Mikel Arteta was going to go for. But I should have known. I should have known my gaffer. He is not going to allow us to let our foot off the gas at all. And now that is 7 wins out of 7, only 2 goals conceded. And in those games, we played the best team in Germany and we played the best team in Italy. Well, currently. And guess what? We smoked both of them. What a performance from the lads. And what a way to respond after that disappointing result at the weekend just gone. I am over the moon. But can't celebrate too much. Of course, we got a game to talk about, and there is a lot to talk about. So let's start off with the starting lineup. So when the lineups came out, I was surprised. I wouldn't say pleasantly surprised, just surprised, because I thought Arteta might go strong, but I was thinking, we got Manchester United on the weekend. We just had Chelsea, big game at Stamford Bridge. We just had Nottingham Forest, big game away at the City ground. And now we've got Inter Milan midweek in Italy. I was expecting him to rotate a little bit more. However, I did predict that he was going to start Mosquera, but I thought he was going to play him alongside Big Gabby. But he went with Saliba, Timber at right back, and Lewis Skelly at left back, which I did predict. And in the midfield, I did say that Marino would start, Zubimendi, and Eze. I got that spot on. However, this is where I got it wrong. I thought he was going to play Noni Madueke and Martinelli. And to be fair, I'm not sure what this means for the game on the weekend, because Saka pretty much played a full 90 and Trossard came off with about 20 minutes or so to go. So who knows what that means for the weekend. However, we are playing on Sunday, and of course today is Tuesday. So there is still a fair bit of time between now and then for everyone to recover and to focus our minds, because that is a big game. But I'm hoping that the confidence and the momentum from this emphatic result today will inspire us to go and do magic this weekend. Because right now, the Arsenal fan base is kind of, it's getting a bit nervy. And I understand why. But guys, look around. We are the best team in the Premier League right now. No one can say otherwise. Man City went to Norway today, Bodo Glimt, and got slapped up 3-1. 3-1. Come on, guys. These guys are meant to be scared of. I'm joking. Let me not get carried away. Anyway, this was a strong lineup. Mosquera obviously hasn't played for a while. He's been out with an injury. Declan Rice definitely needed a rest. And Eze, been a bit of a forgotten man in recent weeks. But today he got his opportunity, and I would say he did well. But before we get into talking about the game, I just wanted to give you my thoughts on the lineup. So as the game started, I think we started off really well. Started off on the front foot. We're getting our foot on the ball, controlling the game. Inter Milan, we're trying to play out from the back, but I feel like we were pressing them really high and pressing them quite well. They were struggling a little bit. And for the first, I would say 3 minutes or so, it was looking like, it's going to be one of those days. Because I think within the first 30 seconds, we already had like 3 shots. I was thinking, what's going on here? Literally from kickoff, played the ball back to David Raya, lumps it forward. Marino, which is, one of the things he's fantastic at, is getting his ball, getting his head on those balls and just causing havoc. So I think he won the header. Can't remember what happened after that, but all I know is there was a few shots. Jesus, Saka, Skelly, everyone's taking turns to shoot. I'm like, okay, we're looking lively. The game goes on. And Inter Milan starting to grow into the game a little bit. But I think, they were looking like the more nervous team, which is a surprise because the fans were up for it today. Those home fans were singing throughout the whole game. I was like, okay, cool. But then, moment of magic. Eze picks up the ball in the final third, takes a nice little touch, plays a beautiful forward, straight pass into the feet of, was it Jesus, who just lays it off nicely for, was it Marino? And the link-up play on the edge of the box was a thing of beauty. And I think that's what you get when you start a player like Jesus. We all know on an average day, his finishing boots are not usually laced up. But today, his boots were well and truly laced up. And that first goal, you could say there was a bit of luck and fortune involved. But when you look at the build-up play to get us into that scenario in the first place, you have to give credit to the lads. Confidence, control, flair. It was sexy, man. It was sexy. Jesus gets a little flick. I think it was a shot from Timber that was deflected. And he just finds himself in the right place at the right time, well onside. And the keeper really had no chance. That was probably a really high XG opportunity because, you really can't miss from there. So that was great. I'm always happy to see Jesus happy because he's been through a lot since he joined Arsenal. And we had high hopes for him, obviously coming in from Man City, winning all those league titles, Brazilian flair. And his career has just never really taken off. And most of that is due to injury or due to just a lack of consistency. But seeing him back in his Arsenal team, smiling, playing with the boys, building his confidence, it really does make me smile. And it was nice to see all of the guys in the team embrace and celebrate him after that moment. However, once they scored that goal, in my opinion, we did something that I'm not too happy about. And I think we've seen this happen a few times this season where we'll score a goal and all of a sudden we're just sitting off, allowing Inter Milan to grow into the game, allowing them to have moments where the fans can get excited and get involved. And I could just feel a bit of momentum coming from them. And they had a few opportunities. We was looking like we was dealing with it well. Mosquera was getting loads of blocks in. Saliba. It was looking like, okay, we're defending well. But this is the Champions League. These teams have quality. And that goal, my God. My God. Personally, I feel like Zubimendi could have got a bit closer to Sukic. And I also feel like Skelly could have done a bit better there. The ball was bobbling around in the box. And I just feel like they looked a lot more alert to the live ball than us. And Zubimendi, I feel like he should have got a lot closer to that shot. However, got to give credit where it's due. It was a great strike. David Raya really had no chance of saving that. And it just bends into the top right-hand corner. And at that point, I'm annoyed, but I'm just like, you know what? It's still so early in the game. I just kind of see it as 0-0. And I know that we have the quality and the resolve to find a way to get ourselves back in front. And that's exactly what we did. And of course, set piece again. Ole, ole. Beautiful corner from Bukayo Saka. When he first hit it, I was thinking, oh, he's kind of overdone it a little bit. And I think the two corners that we had before that didn't even clear the first man. I was like, okay, well, I did say before the game that Inter Milan aren't the best at defending set pieces. And that ball just looped over everyone in the box, right to the far post. And we've seen this many, many times. Everyone's focusing on the tall players, Mosquera, Saliba, Moreno. And no one's thinking about Trossard on the back post. He finds himself in acres of space. And just beautiful from him. Guided header into the front of the goal. And literally, Jesus could not miss from there. And he makes it 2, his second goal on the night. And I'm thinking, yes, that's exactly what we needed. And then we go into halftime, no changes made by the manager. I'm like, yeah, that's reasonable. I think we're doing all right. The one area on which I think was a bit of a weak point was the midfield. I do feel like as Inter Milan grew into the game, they were finding a bit of joy in between the lines. Lautaro Martinez, and Thuram were causing us a bit of issues. I do feel like Mosquera had a bit of rust on him today, and it showed. Those battles, I think he was turning it into a bit of a wrestling match, and I feel like more often than not, he was coming out on the losing end, either giving away a free kick, which I'm surprised the referee didn't book him, to be fair, or, you know, allowing his man to kind of shrug him off and get a shot away or kind of link up the play. But, you know, it was a good battle. It's a good battle to see. And I have no doubt that he will, you know, he will improve as he gets more minutes in his team. But overall, it was still a good performance from him. Comfortable from Saliba as well. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight that in the midfield, I wasn't too comfortable with the way that they were playing the ball through us at times. And I think that is what happens when you have no Declan Rice in the starting lineup. Mikel Merino, as good as he can be in the final third, sometimes he gets caught in acres of space and he just hasn't got the mobility to really chase the ball around, you know. So I give credit to Inter Milan in that sense. You know, they weren't absolutely rubbish on the day. They were quite good, but they just had nothing, you know, for us, you know, and the quality that we have to offer. And then Arteta starts making loads of substitutions. Martinelli comes on, Gykokeres comes on, Ben White comes on. Who else came on? Gabriel came on after a while as well. Declan Rice came on. And I was thinking, yeah, this is the perfect kind of game scenario to bring the player like Gykokeres onto the pitch. And I've said that maybe we should do this more often. You know, he hasn't been in the greatest form, especially when it comes to scoring goals. I'm thinking, well, maybe he should spend some time on the bench. Jesus is fit now. Kai Havertz is working his way back to full fitness. Give Jesus a start in the Premier League, you know. But obviously, he started today. Gyökeres was able to come on in a game state that suits his playing style. High line from Inter Milan, because obviously they're trying to get back into the game. And we could just find him with those nice early balls over the top. And we did it multiple times. And this was probably one of Gyökeres' better games. His hold-up play was good. His link-up play was good. He was having a level of aggression that was positive as opposed to what we've seen in previous matches. So I was really happy to see his involvement in this game. And of course, it was a moment between him and Bukayo Saka, which is funny because there was another moment before that where Saka had the ball on the right-hand side and Saka was causing havoc all game. All game, you know. It was another game where he did get GNA in the end. He got an assist. But it was one of those games where he had a fantastic performance without actually, you know, scoring a goal. He did have a few opportunities where he could have scored, you know, but in the end, yeah, he could have squared the ball to Gyökeres, but he chose not to, chose to go on to shoot. And at first I was thinking, oh, the critics are going to criticize my star boy. But when they showed the replay, I do think the defender closed down the angle for the cross really well. So if he did try and cross it, it probably would have got blocked anyway. So he's a goal-scoring winger. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't scored many goals this season, but generally speaking, he is a goal-scoring winger. So I do expect him at least 50% of the time to back himself, to take a shot, whether it's on his weaker foot or his stronger foot. And unfortunately, that time, I don't think he got it on target. But the next moment that him and Gyökeres had, it was a bit clunky in the end. I do feel like the pass that Gyökeres played into Saka wasn't a great one. It literally ricocheted off of Saka's heel and ends up falling right into Gyökeres' path, almost perfectly for him, actually. And he just sets the ball and just curls it around the foot of the defender. Goalkeeper tried his best to get a full hand to it, but ultimately he could not stop fate. He could not stop destiny. That ball was destined to go into the back of the net, and that is exactly what happened. And in that moment, Inter Milan fans' hearts sunk deep into their chest. And before you know it, the stadium started to get empty. And I was like, wow, look at what Mikel Arteta has done to my club. Do you know how long it's been since Arsenal have won in Italy? I believe they said it's been, what was it, like 15, 16 years, 2008. Forgive me for my maths, guys. I have had 2 drinks, you know, but it's been a long time since we've gone to Italy and had such a composed and just a great performance, you know. So when that goal went in, I was like, okay, good, you know. To be fair, I do feel like in the first half, Inter created a lot of chances. In the second half, Arteta showed it up a little bit. They didn't have that many chances at all, really. I don't think David Raya was tested much in that second half at all. And Inter Milan fans will be disappointed because this is your stadium. This is your home ground. Your fans are up for it. And you need the points more than us. Do you know what I mean? We didn't start Gabriel. We didn't start Declan Rice. And we didn't even start Gyökeres either. So you guys should be disappointed, you know, if you're an Inter Milan fan. And I'm sure they will be. You know, as soon as I finish this video, I'm going right over to go and watch Footy Judge Mo and see his reaction because I know that man is going to be fuming, especially with the defending on that corner. But yeah, ultimately, it was a great day in the office. 3 points secured. We are through to the knockout stage of the Champions League, and I'm pretty sure that we're guaranteed top 2 now, which means that we're going to play all of our knockout games, obviously apart from the final, with the second leg at home, which is very, very important because last year, you know, we had to go to the Bernabeu for the second leg, and you know what they was all on about, remontada, and then same thing with PSG in the semi-final. We had to go over to the Parc de France, and it was always an uphill battle, you know. So I feel like this time we're going to have that advantage. So I think it's just a small margin sometimes in football that can help get you over the line. And this season, all we need to do is get into that final. And whoever we come up against, I'm pretty sure we will give them a good game. So ultimately, I'm super happy with this result. I'm very excited for the weekend now. And yeah, looking forward to playing Manchester United and welcoming them to the Emirates Stadium. But that is it, guys. If you like this video, drop a like, drop a comment, hype it up if you can, subscribe, and follow me on all social media. My links are down below in the description, and I will see you next time. Peace.
That's what the world been missing right here.